Okay, so as a family of 5, we have one garbage bag a week, and it's a pretty big sized garbage bag. Okay, it's the 30-gallon size garbage bag. This is what we generate each week, and I'm gonna tell you how we do it. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are talking about how my family of 5 generates less waste than 90% of other families. This has boiled down to some conscious decisions that we make as a family. I'm gonna share what those are. I've been taking notes and trying to figure out what it is. One of my amazing viewers asked if I could make a video like this, and I thought, you know what, I could totally do that because we used to have more garbage. This has been something that over time we've kind of just streamlined, and so I'm gonna share what we do. Let's get started. Okay, so I have to start with recycling because without recycling, a lot of what we do and why we have so much less waste would not be possible. So if you don't currently recycle, try to figure out if there's a way that you can. I'm telling you, it will reduce a lot of your waste. It will make you feel a lot better about yourself. So let me explain how we do it. We're in an area where we are able to recycle a whole bunch of things, like not only paper and cardboard, but also glass and plastic. Recycling is actually getting a little bit harder to do. There's a variety of reasons for that, but fortunately where we are, we can recycle all of those things. So I have a big recycling bin that we just keep at the back of our house. I've even put the guidelines taped to the side of the bin so that nobody in the family gets confused and everybody can make sure that they follow the directions, they know what's recyclable, they rinse out all of their stuff appropriately and make sure it's ready for the recycling, and they put it in the bin. You really want to follow those rules carefully because that way you know that all of your stuff will actually get recycled, or at least have the best chance of getting recycled. We're in the kitchen, and food waste and stuff from the kitchen is the #1 source of waste in a home. So a lot of things that we do are in the kitchen, and so let me just explain some of the things that we don't use and that we do use to make a big difference. The first thing is we don't use coffee pods. We only do the ground coffee in the machine. Now, if you have a machine that uses the coffee pods, they actually do have like stainless steel coffee pods that you can use, and you can reuse those. They're perfectly fine. You can use the ground up coffee in them. So something to consider, and that will reduce a lot of that waste because those pods, over time they really add up, and it's a lot of plastic waste. We also do not buy plastic bottles. We do not use plastic bottles for water. So we each have our own bottle. This is probably like a basic tip, but I do still at the grocery store see a lot of people buying those big plastic bottles or even like lots of little plastic bottles. But if you feel like you can't drink your water in your home, just get a Brita. I've had a Brita, we used to have one for many years. Now we have a water filter on our refrigerator, so we know that we can drink the water from there. But a Brita also could really work if you're worried about tap water. We also don't really buy like juice or any drinks in cans. If you love that and you want to drink that, that's fine. It's just not something that we buy. I can't buy it anyway because my kids will drink it all in 5 seconds. So we just stick to water. We only use real silverware, real plates. We definitely do not use any plastic silverware. We don't use any paper plates or any plastic cups or anything like that. We're also using cloth napkins. This may sound dramatic, but it's so simple. Like literally, I just bought 12 cloth napkins off Amazon. I can link the ones that I have, and you use them, you throw them in the washing machine with the next time you do laundry, no problem. Okay, another thing is paper towels. These are the bambooies, which I've talked about before, reusable paper towels. I really no longer use paper towels. We've like kind of moved on from them. I probably use like 1, maybe 2 a month, 1 or 2 actual paper towels. So reusable, that's the way to do it. I also store our paper towels under the kitchen sink. I feel like if they're out on the counter, people are tempted to use them. But if they're under the sink, they're still accessible, but nobody sees them. So you don't really think about using them or touching them. Also, don't do takeout too much. Like we don't do, we do order pizza from time to time, but otherwise we're not really ordering a lot of food. If we do, we make a specific request for them to not include napkins, don't include utensils, don't include plates. We just make sure to note that whenever we're ordering, because a lot of times, and condiments too, a lot of times you'll order stuff and then you'll get like all these extras that you just throw out. Okay, this one's a little bit weird. I've shared it before. We bring our own containers if we're going to a restaurant and we know we're gonna have leftovers. That way we don't have to ask for like, one of those big containers, like a plastic container, or some places even still use styrofoam. We just bring our own. It fits like very discreetly in my purse and it's no big deal. It is totally not weird. Maybe it is weird, but we do it anyway. I also limit our use of like Ziploc bags. I don't buy them that often, and I try not to use them as much as possible. So, you know, we'll use them from time to time, but a lot of times you think you need to use a Ziploc bag and you don't. Like, I don't store leftovers in Ziploc bags. If we're like marinating meat, a lot of times they will tell you to put it in a Ziploc. I just stick it in like a Pyrex dish and do it that way. I don't see the need to use the Ziploc bag. But did you know you can also put those bags on the top rack of your dishwasher and wash them and reuse them? I also do that. And if you've got things you want to store, like a leftover lemon or something like that, I just stick it in one of those glass lock containers, or if you've got a Tupperware container, whatever you can use that's not the disposable plastic bag. Speaking of plastic, I also try to limit my use of saran wrap or cling film. There are a lot of times that you may need to use it. Actually, let me show you what I have, which is really cool. I can link these, but they take the place of saran wrap. Check it out. This is what it looks like. So if you've got like a bowl and you wanna put it, you know, to preserve it in the fridge, you can just take this and put this right on top and then put your bowl in the fridge. And this kind of like grips the bowl and it stays right on top. They come in all kinds of sizes. My mom got me these. I'll link these ones. They have lots of them, but I find them to be particularly useful. And then you don't have to use saran wrap. They're also dishwasher safe. So let's talk grocery shopping, kind of moving along here. Before I go grocery shopping, my husband drives me crazy because he doesn't do this, but I take stock of the pantry, I take stock of the freezer, and I take stock of the fridge. I can't stand having duplicates. Sometimes I just get programmed and I buy the same thing over and over, but then I'm not using it every week, and then I end up with lots of duplicates, which something's gonna expire and I'm gonna have to throw it away. So make sure that you take stock before you go grocery shopping. And then when you get home, practice the ever useful FIFO, first in, first out. So instead of just buying, you know, getting your new goods and sticking them right in and shoving the older stuff to the back, you wanna bring the old stuff to the front and put the new stuff in the back. We also like to buy from the bulk bins so that we don't have to buy so much packaging. And of course, we use our own reusable grocery bags. We store those in the car so that we've always got them available. So this one's funny. I was actually filming to show how we do this for this video, and I was putting our produce directly into our cart. You know, I was picking out apples and putting into the cart, and I was picking out peppers, putting into the cart, and I had my daughter film me, and I was like, oh, I'm giving this tip to not get the plastic produce bags that they give you at the grocery store. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's 14. I didn't really realize that she had never seen these, but I showed her that they have plastic bags and that people put their produce in the plastic bags and into their cart. And she was super baffled because she's like, but you're just bringing them home and putting them in the fridge. Why do you have to put them in a bag first? And I agree, but I did used to do it when I was younger, and it just occurred to me one day, like, why am I doing this? I'm wasting this bag. I don't need it in this bag. I don't store it in the bag. I just put my stuff right in the fridge. I wash it, you know, everything's fine. So she did not believe me that people actually use these bags. So I said, look around the grocery store. I can't tell you how shocked she was. We looked at probably 10 carts and everyone was putting their produce into the bag and then putting it into their cart. If you do that, it's totally fine. I just don't do it. And I was kind of just a little bit laughing that my daughter had no idea that this is what a lot of people do. And it just never occurred to her. In fact, she didn't even know about the plastic bags, which I'll take that as a win. And then keeping on with the plastic, we also don't buy like vegetables in plastic. Sometimes it's unavoidable. You can go to farmers markets and get things like fruits and of course vegetables that aren't in the plastic. I try not to buy like when they put peppers in the plastic bags, or, you know, I've just seen the grocery store do a ton of different things. I try to avoid purchasing things when it's wrapped in a lot of plastic. Okay, and then have a garbage disposal if you can. That really helps with food waste so that you don't have to put it in your garbage can. I mentioned this before, to create a compost area if you can. We made one in the back of our house. It's really easy to maintain. We just throw stuff into it. We don't even really turn it like you're supposed to. And stuff just disappears. It works really well with like leaves and grass clippings and things like that. That stuff just goes in the pile and then it's gone. Okay, and then let me just talk a couple things with kids if you've got kids, because kids, it's really hard to keep your waste under control sometimes with them. But a couple of things we do: use reusable containers for the kids' lunches, you know, no paper bags or anything like that. We reuse the kids' school supplies year over year. You can do this with binders, folders if they're in good shape, especially now because a lot of them are plastic. We also save any paper that we can, and pencils and erasers, kind of the list goes on. And then of course, reusing backpacks year over year. I know a lot of people buy their kids a new backpack every year. We try to do it every other year. I've even stretched it out to every 3 years if I can. The older kids kind of destroy their backpacks because they carry them around school and take them from class to class. But my younger son, I think he's going on year 3 with his backpack, and he just literally takes it to school, puts it in his cubby, and doesn't touch it until the end of the day. So it's still in great condition. Okay, and then buying secondhand for the kids if you can. I wish I had done more of this. Fortunately, I do have a lot of friends who have kids, so I got a lot of toys from them and a lot of clothes from them. But as much as you can, you know, kids grow out of their clothes so quickly. I think it's the perfect thing to buy secondhand because it's always in good condition. Moving on to general household items, let's talk laundry. I'm going to be switching to laundry sheets instead of the bottles. Those bottles are big. The detergent that's in those bottles contains microplastics, so I'm gonna be moving away from that and just using the laundry sheets. Those get shipped in a tiny little box, and it's like 100 loads per little box. I'm also gonna be switching to dishwasher powder, not the pods. Those pods are wrapped again in a plastic that doesn't fully dissolve. I actually thought it did dissolve, but it doesn't. So now I'm gonna be using the powder. A lot of people line their garbage cans with plastic bags or liners. We don't do that. We obviously do it for our kitchen garbage can, but we do not do it for our bathroom garbages. I just wash those with soap and water every couple of months. They're fresh, clean, and fine. Stop junk mail. I will link a video up here on how to do that. Junk mail can just really build up, and there's an easy way to remove yourself from a bunch of lists. Join the groups online. There's Trash Nothing and Buy Nothing. If you've got stuff you want to give away, you can put it on there. If you've got stuff you're looking for, you want to pick up, it's all free. It's with your neighbors in the neighborhood, and you're just exchanging things. I use it all the time. Sometimes I'll put things on there that I think nobody wants, and I always end up finding somebody who wants it. And it's just nice to be able to give somebody something that I'm not going to use and that I might have thrown away. Another thing is to repurpose items. I've also talked about this before. We've repurposed a number of things in our house. We used to have this black hutch in our kitchen, and we would keep our dishes in there, and now we put our shoes in there. I've just simply moved it to the front door because we ended up putting a pantry where the hutch was. I used to also have a big box that we used to put shoes in. It used to be at the front door of our apartment. Now that we're in our house, I just use it as like a coffee table. Another one is to make your durable goods last as long as possible. What we try to do is make our durable goods last. So for example, our sofa, we literally had springs coming out of our sofa until we decided to replace it. That was too much, but you get the idea. Just try to make things last as long as possible, even if you can just squeeze like another few years out of it. Then another is to buy soaps in pouches. You can decant those. That is a lot better than buying, even if you buy those soaps in the big plastic bottles, the pouches are great, and then they kind of go down in size and you can recycle them. Also, if you can buy things in concentrate forms, they sell cleaning products this way, detergents come this way. That way you're getting a tiny amount of packaging compared to when they add the water to it and then it's a big package. Okay, and then finally, unsubscribe from retailer emails. I cannot do a whole video on how we reduce waste without talking about the number one thing, which is to reduce the waste that's coming into your home. So in order to do that, you need to remove as many temptations as possible. And for me, one of that is the retailer emails. I unsubscribe from them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to know what they've got on sale. I don't want to know when they have sales. So not only do these emails clutter up your inbox, they just are a temptation to kind of destroy all of the decluttering that you've been doing and just really not help you at all. Okay guys, well thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and link another video if you want to keep this kind of conversation going. So go ahead and click on it and I will see you over there. Bye-bye.